everybody, welcome back to the Craft Beer Hub. I've got a kind of discussion that concerns these two beers. The beers, firstly, we've got the S43 Hefeweizen, called Hefe, at 5.5%, and we have the classic Franziskaner-Weissbier, 5%, available absolutely everywhere. Now this is going to be a bit of a video, sort of, a classic versus craft sort of video. Weiss beers, I've been drinking them loads recently, absolutely loads. I've put beer orders into the Beers of Europe specifically for Weiss beers. In Malta, I drank nearly nothing but Weiss beers. I'm absolutely loving them. And it's the first time I've sort of been able to do sort of, not head to head because that's the wrong word, but this is the first time where I would have tried an old classic against a newer craft of the same style. Beers of the same style, craft versus classic. Now, what is craft? I mean, craft to me personally is just small breweries using the best ingredients to get the best results. That doesn't mean it doesn't make a difference if it's in a bitter, if it's in a hoppy IPA, in a mild, in a stout, in a Weiss beer. It doesn't matter. Craft to me is small producers, not even small producers, any producer that's just using the best ingredients to get the best result. Not cutting corners, not doing it for commercial. They're crafting something. And when you craft something, you do your best with it at all times. The classic is obviously the old pretender that's been around forever. Franziskaner-Weissbier. It's probably been around for hundreds of years. It's probably got on there the date. They do like to put their dates on here. Yeah, it's from Munich since 1363. So it's been around hundreds of years, 600-700 years. And it's absolutely everywhere. When you think of when you think of Weiss beer nowadays, you do kind of get drawn towards Franziskaner because it literally is the most easily available Weiss beer that you can get your hands on. So I think we just got to get these open, have a little discussion, and see what actually is tickling my fancy nowadays. I've got two Weiss beer glasses. I've got my Schneider Weiss glass and my Weissebier glass. I'm going to try and do it as evenly as possible. Like I say, there is a 0.5 of a percentage point difference in the beers. One is technically a Hefeweizen and the other one's a Weiss beer, but they're going to be pretty close. So I think it's worth a little look. Let's crack this Franziskaner open then. I got these beers out of the fridge about 10 minutes ago. Let's stick this in the Schneider Weiss glass. Now, Franziskaner, like I say, it's probably the most widely available Weiss beer you can get your hands on. This and the Erdinger, really. And I think, just look at all the sediment at the bottom. That's why you've got to shake these bottles around. Really get all that in there. And for £1, it's never really over £1.80, is it? It's sort of normally between £1.50, £1. There you go, look, see how dark this goes. Boom, look at that. Look at the colour change. Look at the colour change, and all of that sediment is flavour. So what have we got then? Well, it's a Franziskaner. It's kind of a dark orange, cloudy orange in colour. We've got a nice 2.5 finger white, tight, foamy head. It just looks like a cracking Weiss beer. Quite a lot of sediment floating around in the bottom there. The bottle has been in my fridge for about 3 weeks. Yeah, looks pretty good. I've actually just seen on the back of the bottle it says Hefeweizen, so these beers are of the same style, which is fantastic. Let's get an aroma. It just smells like Franziskaner. Lovely ripe banana. Touch of orange. Hint of spice, bit peppery. A little bit of clove coming through. A little bit of nutmeg as well. That smells really quite nice. Let's go in. Oh, you just can't whack it, can you? You just can't knock it. Oh, lovely rich ripe banana. Lovely malty and wheaty to start with. The rich banana flavour comes in. That's from the yeast that they've used. Bit of orange, bit of spice. There's kind of a funky, gassy thing at the end that I always get out of Franziskaner. But yeah, generally speaking, it's Franziskaner. and it's really good. um, so Franziskaner for me, it probably is one of the better Weissbiers out there. I don't think the Erdinger Weissbier is as good as the Franziskaner, if I'm being entirely honest with you. Do I think Franziskaner is the best? Yeah, it's probably up there. I had a really good Stiegel. That's that bottle cap right there. You probably can't see it. I had a really good Stiegel Weissbier. I'm loving the Weissebier Weissbier. Hofbrau Weissbier was very good. Let's get this S43 Hefeweiss open and into a glass. It's probably worth saying at this point, this might be one of the last S43 beers I try. I don't quite know what the situation is with them. Very clear straight away, but I'm wondering whether we just need to agitate whatever's in the bottom of this can. Just giving it a good swill around. Oh, there we go. Boom. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Let's kind of swill that around a little bit. You can almost see it. Can you see that? The way the sediment's making all its way to the bottom. Look at that. What have we got then? Well, the top of the beer, it looks very similar to the Franziskaner. Lovely, dark, rich orange. Hasn't got much of a head on it, but I think that's probably more to do with me and the pour. Yeah, again, looks like a decent enough Weissbier. Let's get a nose, see what we get. Straight away different. There isn't that kind of lovely rich banana coming through. There is a bit of spice, but it's different. It's more of like a grass, not a grassy spice, but it's more of an aromatic sort of spice. It hasn't got that kind of familiar clove, nutmeg aroma to it. Now I am picking up a bit of banana, but it's sweeter banana. It almost smells like foamy banana sweets. Very, very sweet banana. Not like the ripe banana of the Franziskaner. Not like that. It doesn't smell as fresh. It doesn't smell as fresh and as... It doesn't smell as classic. I know this is I know that's kind of in my head already, but it just doesn't smell as classic as the Franziskaner. Bit of subtle hint of orange. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely got a kind of crafty. There's definitely a kind of an ale-y, yeasty aroma coming from it. I don't know. I think we just got to go in. Cheers, everybody. It's just not near it. It's just such a different beer. Obviously, one's been brewed in Bavaria or Germany since the 1300s. The other one was brewed... Where were S43? Up north somewhere. Were they Sunderland? It just doesn't hit the spot enough. It is very, very malty. It's spicy, but like I say, it's more aromatic spices. I can't put my finger on it. It is peppery, but it's almost got like a cardamom style, like a more of an aromatic spice, if you know what I mean. Much thinner in the body. Slightly more carbonated than the Franziskaner. It finishes so different with that spice. The Franziskaner is almost moreish. This is the Franziskaner. The Franziskaner finishes lovely and malty. Slightly sweet, not very. It's just so thin when it's side by side. The difference is crazy now. And that finish is just... It's so aromatic. It's bordering on chemical. And this is kind of what I wanted to do. And this is the first time I've done this with a new beer and an old beer like this, Weissebier. I really wanted to get them side by side because I personally thought that the Jack Blackheart Brewdog, if we're going to talk old versus new, or the Blackheart, whatever it was called, the Blackheart Guinness copy that Brewdog did, I thought, for me, that was just better. Marginally better than Guinness out of the can. And I kind of said, I think I said in the video at the time, the video is there if you want to go and see the video. I said in the video at the time, Guinness has been brewing this since, 1759? And Brewdog made the recipe probably in 2022. So there's a fair argument to say, yeah, of course it's going to be better. They aren't tied down by history and heritage. But it's the same here. And not only is that history and heritage here, it's deeper. It's 400 years older if this has been brewed in 1363. So the heritage battle is deeper. Now, obviously I'm not saying that the Franziskaner recipe is the same as what it was back in the 1300s. But there is still going to be somewhat of a tie. I think what S43 have done, they've made a very nice Weissbier. And I had a couple of cans of this a few weeks ago and I really enjoyed them. But side by side, the difference is massively telling. It's nice. The S43 is malty, it's citrusy. Very, like I say, very spicy, very aromatic. Dry and bitterness at the back end. It's a nice version of a Weissbier. But the Franziskaner, it's so much more moorish, it's so much more rich. And that goes from the flavours to the mouthfeel to the ending of that lovely moorish, rich, malty back end of this beer. And to put price into perspective as well, if that Franziskaner was around about 160, 170, 180, this Hefeweiss was probably getting off double the price. Around about £3.50, £3.50. It's interesting. It's really, really, really interesting. And it's interesting, like I say, it's interesting to have these things side by side because I think I might have even put it on the group chat. I'm in a bit of a group chat with like Paul, Tom, and Crummy, and John, and Chris. I might have said at the time that was a fantastic Weissbier, and it is nice. It's a nice beer. It's a good effort from S43, but it's nowhere near the level of the Old Pretender. And the Old Pretender is that particular bottle. I should add that particular bottle would have come out of Lidl at £1.59, I reckon. And it is just absolutely lovely. So I suppose the first round of craft versus classic went to craft. This second round, it's classic. It's classic all the way. I think there's certain styles you can probably have a little bit of a play with as a British brewer. Obviously, Brewdog Irish Stout, not too far, not too distant away. But there's certain styles that they're probably going to struggle to not to replicate, because they're not trying. I doubt they were trying to replicate, but they're trying to sort of achieve. And price, heritage, taste, everything is just Franziskaner for me. To be honest with you, it's been a while since I've had a Franziskaner, and I've forgotten how good it was. I've been drinking a lot of Weissbiers recently, and that is one of the better ones for sure. It's better than the Augustina for me. But yeah, S43 fair play. It's just probably quite a difficult start to pull off. I mean, even in the glass, I mean, the Franziskaner, they just look Franziskaner looks a bit more lively, a bit more to it. The S43 just looks a little bit dead. Yeah, I don't know what's happening to S43. I hope all their staff, I hope they continue to brew. I think the last rumour I saw on one of the Facebook forums was they were going to be taken over and brewed somewhere else. I don't know. I just hope they're okay and they still produce beer. But yeah, in this battle, Classic wins every single day of the week. Guys, let me know what you think. There are some more craft Weissebiers out there if you want to try them. I don't know if you're going to get hold of this one anymore, if I'm honest. Lord's Brewing Company does a Weissebier. My local brewery, Grain, does a Weizen, a Weissebier. Get out there and have a little look if you want to. Weissebiers for me are just up there at the moment. They are just far and beyond hoppy pales, stouts, IPAs. I'm just loving them at the moment. So it was really enjoyable to do this video for you. Like and subscribe, guys, if you'd be so kind. I will see you on the next one. Cheers.